right. This is the Who Does That podcast. This is the first one. You excited?
Yes, it's our debut.
It's your debut. This is my mom.
Hi, I'm Millie.
And then I'm Louie or Lewis. Millie and Louie. I like that. You like that?
Yeah, Millie and Louie.
Okay, Millie and Louie. Um, so what is this show? Basically, I wanted to start a podcast and I didn't have a co-host. And who better to have than my mom?
That's right. I'll always show up.
Never gonna cancel. So we started this because we believe that the idea and the art of conversation is sort of disappearing. Things are kind of very polarizing, right?
Yes, I'm tired of hearing about controversial topics and people arguing, and it's just very stressful for people. And people have forgotten how to just converse in a light manner and just talk about fun things.
Yeah, it just feels like every discussion today is like super argumentative. It's very toxic. We see a lot of things about very explicit topics. It's too political. People come after one another. And we just thought that maybe we can spread more positivity in terms of things and just honestly to have some sort of program for people to have fun,
Yeah,
right?
just some light-hearted conversation of just funny everyday things, and we would love, the concept to be that people join us as we continue our journey.
And we just want to show that it's possible to like also disagree
Yes,
as well.
we
And
disagree a lot.
well, like just to but we need to show people that it's okay to disagree in
Yes,
a way that doesn't have to be relationship ending because we always see that as well for the past like what over 10 almost 10 years now, right? About 10,
yes.
15 years, people just based off of an opinion that doesn't even apply to your life or mine, and they end their friendships over now an opinion. We can't even have reasonable discourse anymore, or to even just argue about things that don't matter.
Yeah, people should be able to express their different opinions, and that it doesn't have to ruin your entire relationship with them, or that you don't have to judge them over it. We have forgotten about how to hear out the other side and different points of view. Because, I have a saying that I love is that I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. And when I say that to my son, and it's because I'm trying to teach him that everyone is right in their own way and how they grew up and in their culture. It's their upbringing, of how they feel about things, and they're not wrong. It's just you need to listen to what other people think about, and you need to listen to what they're saying, and expand your thinking. So I encourage that for my children as they were growing and now as adults. And I really hope that this helps people to be able to conversate in a manner where you're open minded when you speak with people. And we're not talking about anything crazy here. We're
Mm.
not going to be talking about anything deep or like life changing. We're going to be talking about everyday little quips and little things that happen in our lives, and laugh a little bit. So
Yeah, I feel like that this is the it's gone like this sort of just the art of talking about things that aren't serious. Sorry, it took me a little bit, but things that aren't serious. Because at least like maybe like you remember, I don't know, that like people used to just have these topics that everyone would have an opinion on, but no one took them
yes,
seriously, you know?
my parents could go on and talk for 20 minutes about a coffee cake. My parents could go on and on like, "Oh, I like it with the raisins. No, that's not good with the raisins." Like just like can talk about a coffee cake for 20 minutes. I know people back east, New York, New Jersey, I know you guys could talk about coffee cake and you guys know what you're talking about. We could talk about coffee for 20 minutes, half an hour, right? So kind of coffee, what how much, how many shots of espresso, this type, how you make it, and what kind of machine. There's so much to talk about that we don't have to talk about things that are toxic and that will lead to big, huge blow ups.
Also, if Drake's Coffee Cakes wants to sponsor us in the future,
Yes,
we're
we do
completely
like
open.
crumb cakes.
Completely open. Very East Coast household. Um, so I guess let's start going. I
Yeah,
guess
let's
right?
get into the
let's
let's get
get
into the segment. Let's go.
okay. So our first segment is unspoken rules of public life, right?
Yes.
So like I think we can all agree that there are how we operate in society. There are there are obviously laws, but there are millions of rules that you should just know, but no
Yes.
one ever just says to you.
Yes, that you should know that. These are things that you should know. So let's do the first scenario.
Okay, so the first one that we have is two cars are pulling into the same parking spot at the same time. Who backs down? Who backs like who has to let the other one get into space first?
Okay, so my thought is, okay, and now we're gonna go back to East Coast because there's some scenarios. If it's parallel parking, if you have passed the space already, I don't think that you should get it. You passed it. I know you have to back into it because the other person can't do
Mhm.
anything until you go. So that's a little bit of a conundrum. But if you passed it already, before you put your blinker on, I think the person behind you should get it. What do you think?
That depends on how far I think you pass the space. So how far do you think you have to pass the space though before you consider it a lost cause, right? Because if it's just like because well, I guess if you're parallel parking, you have to go to the side of the
You
car,
have to
right?
go. You have to. Okay, so let's say that you line up with side by side with the car in front, and you have your blinker on, you have your light on, then you should get it because you have to
Yeah,
back into it.
right.
Unless
But
unless the person in back tries to sneak in, right? Then what are you gonna do?
yeah, but that's ridiculous because you have to back.
I know they're never gonna get out. You can just kind of block them
I
that
guess that
way.
makes sense because if you go down more than the car that's in front of the space,
Hmm.
then like what are you gonna do? Back up into traffic? like,
Exactly, exactly. But let's talk about
but
the
that's
scenario like at a shopping center, right?
yeah,
So one guy's coming one side, the other person is facing them. You both got your blinkers on for that space.
right.
Who gets it? Oh, I've gotten into it with this
Where's
one
the
before.
arrow pointing? Because all these parking lots now they have arrows indicating
Yes,
that.
that's true.
So I would say whoever's on the actual right side coming in, right? So if it's the arrow pointing, like I'm coming this, like you're
Like
the
they
car
have to go
facing us,
up.
right? You're facing me, the car going up, right? I believe the car going up, following the arrow, should get the space if their blinker is on. If their blinker ain't on,
Well, if the blinker's not on,
uh,
all bets are off. You
yeah,
gotta have your blinker on. If you don't put your blinker on, you ain't getting nothing. That you don't deserve anything. You should put a big blinker on.
I think it was also it's who was waiting for the car first.
Well, yeah, but you still got to put your blinker on because how do I know you're waiting for the car unless you got your blinker on?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you're waiting for them to go or if you're waiting for.
Right. I mean, you could just be waiting because somebody's backing out, right? There's people that are leaving the parking lot and someone just starts to back out, right? So you got to make sure that the person that you have your blinker on indicating that you're going in that space.
Hmm. What's another scenario for the cars?
I think Yeah, I think those are the two scenarios that I have a problem with. That you're kind of like, "Ooh, who goes and who gets the scenario? Who gets that car?" You know?
I think that there's also the spot. I don't know, like a lot of schools, um,
Mm.
like parents picking up their kids, and who gets you know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a mess
Yes.
of traffic, and
So
some
let's
people just
talk
come.
about that because I've been in this scenario before, picking people up, right? And if The problem that I've seen is that some people don't want to leave, like, especially if you have the coveted spot right in front of the door. So you want your kid to run to you with, if it's raining or something. But if you leave spaces that are in front of you and you're not moving up, then it's a free for all.
Yep.
That somebody can get in front of you. So don't get mad if somebody blocks you because you didn't move up and go with traffic.
Bets are off on that. Because I used to substitute teach, and sometimes they have you standing out in the sun and waving the cars for the kids to get picked up. And what happens is these parents, because they want their kids to run all the way in the back, get in the car so they can just drive off,
Mhm.
and they don't move up.
That's all right. I
And
mean, parents they see their kid, they're waiting. I totally get why,
mm,
but yeah. So, but I you have to move with the traffic. If you don't move with the traffic, then expect someone to park in front of you.
yeah, if there's a big enough, what's the biggest gap?
One
Do
car
you think
length.
1 car length?
Yeah, if the car in front of you leaves, move up. I mean,
Mm,
it's really simple.
it's a little tight.
It's just move up.
You
but
can
the,
move up, but like,
but the person's not going to be able to, they're not going to take the time to parallel park in front of you so that you can then leave when you want. So they're going to kind of just pull up right where that empty spot is so their kid can run in. And then you got to wait because if you don't wait, you can possibly hurt a child, right? So you got to
true.
wait.
Some of these parents don't
Um,
care.
but all right, ready? Let's move on to the next one.
Sorry. Um, what is worse, taking food into a movie theater, like, and not just like snacks, like actual like food,
Okay.
right?
Or
Or talking during the previews. Do you think talking, which one is worse to you?
I think most people bring stuff from home to the movie theaters, right? I mean, like, I'm not talking about bringing a roast, like a big roast with potatoes and stuff, right? No, we're talking about like you bring in candies or, whatever they sell at the concession stand. If you bring like those, when you go to Walgreens and they have those, those boxes of candy that look very much like the ones at the movie theater, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, if you're wrapping hot dogs and hamburgers and fries to take in, like that could be a little iffy because people smell and
Yeah.
that's a little off-putting. But talking through the previews, I feel like once that they say at the movie theater, okay, please put away your phones, please quiet down. The movie is, that your movie's starting. I feel like people should start to quiet down. I don't see that there's a reason to talk.
I disagree. I healthily disagree, and this is why. It's the previews. No one cares about commercials. No one cares about the commercials. No one cares about the previews. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. It's an ad.
But yeah, but maybe you're interested in finding out more. Like, why do you like it has already been told to please quiet down so that we can hear the previews and that people can enjoy the show.
Yeah, but the show hasn't
But
started.
that's part of the show.
No,
Like,
it's
what if
not.
it's like one of your favorite actors that is their movie is coming out and you kind of want to see it and it looks like funny or whatever and you're interested. I shouldn't have to hear, you talking in the back about like, oh, so what did you think about the papers today? Or what did you think about that? Like it's, quiet. Why are you here? You should
I
have
don't.
stayed home.
I don't. Okay, maybe it's voice level because
It could
because
be
I
voice level. I don't know.
because I talk during previews.
He talks all the time.
I talk during the previews, and because they're just commercials, but I'm not loud about it. I'm quiet because I understand. Right, lights are off. That's kind of your signal
Yeah, that's like
to
where you're
stop talking.
supposed to like chill out, eat your popcorn. It's bad enough that you have to hear all the crinkling of the popcorn bags and crinkling of people opening boxes and the soda straws going in and out. Like it's already a pain and like listening to people.
Yeah,
And then you hear, them talking like, "Oh, that's going to be horrible. That's going to be great. I can't wait to see that." Like, shut up. What about laughing? Like, do you think people laughing during the movie gets too boisterous that then you can't hear like what's going on, like the next line or
I think it depends. If it's a comedy, then by all means, I think that people are allowed to. That's actually a good
Yeah.
one because
I've
if it
screamed out laughing a couple times in movies.
but there is a like unspoken frame of time where you are allowed to laugh. It's like the scene, and it's
Mhm.
like a good what, maybe 5 seconds, good five
Yeah.
seconds of of a laugh, and then you can wind it down a little bit, and then like by the 10-second mark, you need to just be quiet again, because I've been to theater with some people,
Mhm.
and every single line it's and it's too much,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you start
Oh
hearing
my god.
people.
What about the old guy that can't stop coughing while you're watching the movie and they're like like just going nuts, just coughing, hacking, and it's like, "Oh my god, please step out and go to the bathroom. Please go stop coughing. Go get a drink of water." Like, why are you sitting here like Typhoid Mary at the movie, just coughing and how? Like, I have been through so many movies with people just hacking and coughing.
Yeah,
Like, you need to step out.
you need to go.
Yes, just step out for a second. Go get a little drink of water. Walk around. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe your throat's dry. Go and let people hear the movie. We
if
paid for it too.
if you're clearing your throat or something like a kernel,
Yeah, but
like
I
like
listen.
a like that, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no. Your grandmother, she's choked on the popcorn kernel before at the movies, but like, you know,
Yeah, but if you're
you
hacking
smack
up,
her on the back and she's good.
if you hack up a lung, you need to go.
Right. I can understand if somebody like chokes a little on their food or something, gotta hack it out. Okay, but not throughout the whole movie. Like there was times, like during COVID one time that like at the end of COVID that we went to a movie, and it was the one with the mobsters with Robert De Niro and
That's
it was
like
like a
that's like a
3 hour movie. I forgot what it was
yeah.
called.
That's like all of them.
But there was an older gentleman there, and he hacked the entire movie. And it was really stressful because it was around time of, people were sick. So
Yeah.
it's like, please go out and go get some cough drops or something. So
So you still think that talking during commercials is
I think
worse?
it's a no-no, but everybody has their feeling about it.
Okay.
Don't go to movies with Louie. He'll talk to through the whole
Yeah. I'm my background is in film. I teach film at Arizona State, so
and that gives him and that
it gives
gives
me
you the
authority.
right
Yeah, I'm
to
the voice. I'm literally the voice of.
I tell him, shut up. Let me listen to the preview.
Right. So our next scenario, last section
No, no, what is it? What's
is
the
it
name?
ever okay to cut in line if you are in a hurry?
Okay, this depends on scenario too, in my opinion. If you are a pregnant woman and you need
Mhm.
yes, yes, women that are very pregnant, you never know if there's an emergency, then they need to cut in line. They only got a couple things. By all means, please go. If it's an elderly person, the same thing. Even I've let people that are sick cut in line with because I could
That's
tell they're sick and I could tell they just want to get home. And I've done that before. Now, if it's just because you just start like wandering over and you get in front of me, because I've had
mm-mm.
that happen too, it's gonna go down. Like there's gonna be a problem. Like remember we were in the airport in Madrid,
Mhm.
and these girls just kind of walked over and just like they
Yeah.
were gonna get in line. There was a humongous line that was all the way down the airport, and here they come. The the TikTokers, and that they were gonna get in line, and we're like, excuse us. The line starts the line ends at the end over there, and we kind of called them out, and they shamefully walked over there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I
you can't just cut.
I think it is only acceptable to cut if it is like you can't chat and cut. Like you can't just like chat with somebody and then stay in line with them. But if it's like, say, a mother and their husband, or the person,
Mhm.
that's okay. I think that's okay. Other
No.
Otherwise, you would make dad go all the way in the back of the
Well, I
line.
would go with him.
You would go with him, but you're
But it
already.
depends the scenario. If I'm holding the place in line to go to a movie, for example, yeah, I'm holding the place in line and he's come that's understandable. Like even at when you're shopping, Like if you guys are shopping and you're in line with the cart, right? And somebody goes and gets like some hamburger buns and then they come back, well, then yeah, of course, they're with that person in the shopping cart. But if you're like standing in line to get on a plane or you're getting in my opinion, this
Mhm.
is my opinion, or if you're in line for like at the motor vehicle department and your husband comes and stands next to you, people could get upset. And those people are already stressed out and not happy.
Yeah.
So, like, just avoid all things. Why don't you just go up together when you're both ready? Or you do
Yeah.
your thing and then your husband can do his thing.
You know what? If I'm in an airport and I've been standing in that line for a while, and my wife went to go do something and come back, I'm not moving. Sorry, I'm not going all the way in the back of the line.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not doing that.
it depends on again the scenario, right? What are they going to go do?
Well, this scenario said if you're in a hurry, right? So
Well, I mean, if you're in a hurry, why don't you get there earlier?
you need. That's what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
You need to prepare more. But
Mhm. But there are some scenarios with elderly people, and there's scenarios with like pregnant women, or even what about a family with like a child that you can see is clearly has developmental disabilities, right?
yeah,
You're going to let them go because they're having a hard time. We'll share that Lewis's brother has autism, and there were some flights that were not easy. If
mm-mm.
we see a family that has a child with
Like
some sort
headphones,
of some
something.
headphones, or you could see the child is struggling, or having some sensory issues, you got to let them go.
Yeah,
You got to let them go because they are in a hurry, because they need to be able to to comfort their child. Or even if you see an adult with special needs,
that's true too. People
we got to be a little bit more sensitive, peeps.
and to
We
be a
do.
little more aware.
Aware that yeah, we have some people in our society that need our help. It's not just about like, oh, I'm do this or I'm do that. So just keep it in mind,
Yeah.
just another perspective, that's all.
All right. The only serious, the only
The
serious
only serious piece of it.
piece of this. Um. All right. So I guess
Let's go to
we're
our
gonna
next segment.
yeah. Let's go to the next segment. So the next segment we have is: are we losing it, or was it always like this? There are certain topics that have people like basically like, have people gotten too sensitive about things, or are these things just normal human behaviors? Um. So one of our first scenarios: you nod to someone every day at the gym, right? So you go to the gym weekly. You see the same person. You're walking
Mhm.
out the door. This is common
You do
for
one of
guys.
these.
Yeah, you do a down tilt is somber. Let's get that straight too. Down is
Oh,
somber. Up is high. So like if you're trying to greet someone, don't do that. That's very depressing.
is this
But
kind of
anyway,
like a more like a guy code, if you
yeah,
will, thing? All right.
this is more prevalent with men. So like you see a guy work out, you see him a couple times, you start nodding to him. Like then, at what point are you required to have an actual conversation with this person? How long do you think that you have to acknowledge saying like you have to eventually say hi to this guy because you're nodding at him every
Well, I
other
mean,
day or every week?
well, that's part of making friends, right? Too, like that you get to know people. Because I feel like back in the day, we knew more people. So like, oh, I know that guy from the gym, and like you actually knew the guy's name, right? Like, oh,
Mhm.
that's Joey from whatever street, right? Or oh, that's Mary. She goes to whatever church, or she go and because you met these people at the gym, or you meet them, at a social setting, and I don't feel like we have enough social settings anymore.
No, I don't think so either. But at what
Well, like
time?
I feel like after you nod to someone, like after like 2 weeks, kind of like when you start a new job, right? At some point, you got to be like, "Hey, my name's Millie. What's your name?" Like just the nod. At some point, it's going to be just awkward that you're always nodding. Like
Uh,
you got to talk.
I would say like maybe fourth time,
Fourth nod.
fourth nod.
Well, I'm assuming you're going to the gym about 3 times a week, and that you're not seeing them every single time.
Well, if you go 3 times a week, yeah, like by the first couple few times, like by maybe by fourth or
But the
fifth,
second week,
yeah, about the second week, I would
okay,
say.
you
But
gotta
there's a specific amount of not because if it
you
gets
asked amount
past
of time. That's why I said that.
because if you go past, I think if you go past that initial nod, then you're not going to be nodding again because no one's going to continue that
Well, yeah,
for an extended period of time.
no, the guy's gonna go home and be like, "This prick keeps nodding at me at the at the gym. It doesn't
But
even say hello."
but the cost of that is the cost of the cost of that is then you start internalizing it, right? Like if they just like if say they just stop nodding to you, you kind of go, what was that about?
Okay, so like,
And then there's this weird fighting that you don't even know who this person is because you've established a relationship with the nodding.
no, you can't. You gotta say hi. I've seen you here before. My name is so and so. Do you, like you're not like trying to establish like some weird thing. All you're doing is meeting people. People have lost the art of just meeting people and be like, "Hey, what's your name? I seen you around. Does your family live around here?" Yeah, maybe you end up knowing somebody from their family, or you end up knowing somebody that's in common. Like, they say there's what 6 degrees of separation between people,
6 to 7, like you're 7
right?
people away from someone
From
from
someone,
someone
right?
big or
So I
someone
mean, at
else.
some point you're gonna know somebody that they know. So it's I think to me that we've lost that art of making new friends and knowing who our neighbors are.
I agree.
I don't even know my neighbor's name.
No, we don't talk to the neighbors.
That's another topic,
That's
another
another. That's
day.
another. That's another. That's actually a future
Yeah,
scenario.
actually,
That's actually
I
pretty
know
good.
her name, but I don't know. I don't know like anything much more about
I
her.
don't know him. So you would say like 2 weeks is
I
the
would say
appropriate
by the
time.
second week you got it. I
Yeah,
not the full 2 weeks either.
not the full 2 weeks.
No, you got in the second week you
Yeah,
got to say something,
after the
or at least a hello,
yeah, at least
not the nod anymore.
yeah, because I think because the social anxiety is going crazy in our society. At least give them
Yeah,
hey, like a
yeah.
hey.
Don't just start looking at your phone. That's the other move, the go-to move people have. It's like, oh, let me look at my phone.
Yeah, using your phone as a scapegoat to get out of
Yeah.
communicating with others. All right,
I,
so oh, light just changed.
yeah, it's all
Gotcha.
right.
Um, okay, the next scenario we have, the next
Mm-hmm.
part of the segment. What do you think about people who insist on taking a picture of their food before everyone eats? So we're at a restaurant,
Oh,
right? So we're at a restaurant.
all right. Tee it up.
Food comes out, everyone's excited, and there's the one person that says, "Hold on, don't eat anything yet," and they get up from the table and they start taking pictures.
Like dad.
What do you think?
Okay, here's my thing. If you want to take your own picture of your own food, and I understand that some dishes come out looking beautiful. They look like art pieces
Mm,
and they look delicious, and you want to kind of remember that or send it to a friend and be like, "Oh my gosh, look at this place," right? Or some people like doing like their little reviews, right?
mm.
And that's fine, or they'll post it on their social media and such. I just don't think you should keep others from eating their food. That's my thought.
Yeah, but that happens at home too. Like it's like, oh, it's so beautiful and stuff. And that, like, say there's a family party that happens
Uh-huh.
to people all the time, and then someone comes from the back. Oh, the camera eats first, and they come up and they start messing with the. Listen, if you take one picture, I think everyone's okay with one picture. But there's some people that go through different angles, and then they're like, "Ah,
I
that
don't
one came out
know.
blurry," and it's like,
I mean, we've
man,
had some barbecues where it is amazing and everyone's taking pictures of whatever it is that we made,
but
right?
that's different because like that's like a special dish. Like an
Mm-hmm.
example is like if someone was making a like a pig, right, or
Mm-hmm.
like a big thing of like lamb, like cooking a lamb like
Mm-hmm.
on a spit or something, right? Like something,
Everyone now knows we're European.
right? but, but everybody knows like that's something like you're doing it during the cooking. You're not doing it when
Well,
it's
when
all
it's
done and
done,
served.
yeah. Well, not served, but when it's done, it takes a little longer because everyone's taking pictures. Everybody's excited about it. Um, they could take pictures of the spread, maybe, right?
Hmm.
But you're not going to hold up the whole party.
Right.
So
That's a very specific
yeah, but like
instance
if
where
you,
I think
but
it's
let's
okay.
talk about like at a restaurant though. Like if you're at a restaurant, and you're taking a picture of like your Wendy's meal. Come on, like
Wendy's.
that's well, not a
Who
Wendy's meal.
does? Who does? who does Wendy's?
I don't know. I haven't been to a Wendy's to eat in
No, but who?
years.
No,
But
but no. I mean, sorry, maybe
some
I came
people
out.
take their pictures of their fast food.
Yeah, it's usually on Yelp for a complaint. That's that's what people. Or
Fair. That's fair.
there's a thumb in the fries. That's a. But shout out to Wendy's. I mean, Wendy's. I never had that problem
Yes.
with Wendy's.
Yeah,
But
he's always asking for Frosties. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Frosties and fries.
Frosties and fries.
Frosties and
That's his
fries.
favorite.
So you don't think it's okay? To do
um,
that?
I think it's okay if you take your own. If you spend the time on taking your own.
Yeah, I think it's the act of stopping everyone to get the whole table. That's where
I
it's
don't
not
stop.
okay.
When your dad loves to take pictures of food. He enjoys it. It's something that he really loves to do, and he loves showing like his friends, look what they had at this place. But I'm not stopping my meal so he can take, unless he says, okay, hold on, let me take a picture. And my plate looks that beautiful. Okay, I'll take a minute, you know.
Yeah,
But that's
I don't
it.
think it's okay under any circumstance. If you want to take a picture of your own plate and
I wonder what our viewers think, because I know they've been in that position where they're just like, "Oh my god, I'm starving. I just want to eat."
that's me every time. I just if you want to take a picture of your own plate, that's fine, and let everybody else keep eating. But like the whole like, nope, I'm gonna take a picture with everybody, and the food's just sitting there. It's like, man, we already been waiting for like
No,
45
I don't
minutes.
know
Like,
anybody that's like gone around and just taken everybody's picture, the food of everybody's
not
picture.
everybody's food, but like they get up from the table and want to take a picture of the entire table
Oh, I've never
and
had
the food.
that happen.
I've had that happen.
Oh, don't go out with them again.
Don't go to LA. That's what everybody does out there.
They don't eat.
They don't eat.
All right.
All right, so
What's our next one?
the final one for this segment is, why do we always check the fridge multiple times hoping that new food will appear?
Oh my god.
Why do you think that
Who
happens?
you know who's guilty of this?
Yeah, I
This
do.
guy right here.
I do
This
it.
guy.
I do it, but it's out of habit.
Open. It's like a little exercise routine. Open. Open. Open check. Open check.
I mean, like I think like what happens is it's a force of habit. Like when you're bored, especially when you're bored, I think your brain just goes on autopilot, and it's like, let me get something to eat, and it keeps checking the fridge, hoping like.
Like, do you think something's gonna pop up that you haven't seen,
I
or
don't
do you
know.
think that you're opening it again because you're like, maybe I didn't check everything. Maybe
I think that's what I think it's because subconsciously
Mhm.
you're like, maybe there's like something really good
behind that.
and I just missed it for the 50th time. I don't know, right? Like I think I think that's why I do it, because
I don't know. You
I'm
do it
like,
a lot.
maybe no,
But
maybe no, and then like you just and I think everybody relates to that. I think
No,
everybody.
absolutely. I mean, I've done it too. I just go in. I'm like, okay, what can I make? Oh, there's got to be something in here that I can make. Let me keep looking. Let me look in every drawer. Oh, I didn't check that drawer. Let me look here. And you try to get ideas, but sometimes there's just nothing there. And then the freezer too, because I hide all my really good goodies behind the vegetable bags, and someone finds them. So I have to make sure it's a vegetable you don't like.
It's a vegetable I don't like.
Or something somewhere that you're not going to look, or he's never going to dig this deep.
I'll find it.
But
I always find
he finds it.
It's fine. I think
that's
maybe that's why I check, because I know you're hiding something really good, and I'm just trying to scan the.
Because you like to hit my Carb Smart.
Give the ice cream, yeah.
I get the Carb Smart with the chocolate on the outside, and I need them because they have a lower sugar, and he'll eat them all. If I leave it there and he finds it, he'll eat them all. So I have to take drastic measures.
But to go back to the question, why do you think people always?
I think
check the
because you
fridge?
think you missed it.
I think so
you
too.
missed something. Like there's something somewhere, and you keep looking.
I think that's pretty fair, because
Mhm.
I don't know, because maybe people do. I think sometimes people just do it out of habit. I don't even think people are looking for something. It's just programmed, especially when you're bored. If you have nothing to do and you don't have a task and you're not actually doing something,
Yeah, but that's
you just start going to the fridge, because the first thing you start to do when you're bored is, oh, I'm going to eat something. I think I'm gonna eat
Yeah,
something
that's
because
like a really bad habit, but
no, it's a really bad habit, but I think most people do
maybe I'm gonna put I'll put a sign in there that says, "Just go grab some water."
it.
Yeah, which we do like Aquafina.
Aquafina sponsorship. But there's
And
this, not sponsored, but hopefully to be sponsored.
that Fiji one too.
In Fiji, what's the most expensive water? What's the?
No, I don't like the most expensive one, the
Don't say that.
Avion. Well, the Avion one, but there's other ones that are good too. That's not the only one. So, and by the way, in Spain, they have bottle caps that are attached to the water bottle. We need to do that here in the US.
Yeah, we do. That's a big one.
That is so that it was I didn't think I'd like it at first, but it's really awesome. It's really nice. So, just wanted to say that too. But
All right. Getting into our final segment for the day, and then I guess we can close off.
at least for our first one.
This is our first one. We got like a good 30 something minutes going, I guess.
Conversation. Yeah, we need to
We'll
get some.
extend it.
We'll extend it for the next ones, and we'll also, include some more. We'll get some lists going so you guys can use these topics and talk about these at your next, party or your next, get together.
Yeah, we'll start compiling them, and
Mm-hmm.
if you guys like it, then we'll start just keeping up more and more and more. So, all right. So for our last segment,
Did we do these?
do the rule? No.
Okay.
Do the rules apply?
Hey, we never said we were going to be perfect.
No, it's the first show,
That's right.
and I don't have a lot of resources at the moment. So
We don't need resources. We make do with what we got.
exactly.
We got our brains.
Okay, so the last segment is: do the rules apply, or just to other people? Right. So the first one is: you say your goodbyes. Right. You're at a party, family function, celebration, whatever it is. You're saying your goodbyes. You grab your coat. Then you get stuck in one last conversation. The question is, are you allowed to leave, or do you have to restart the whole goodbye process? Do you have to go back and say goodbye to everybody else?
That one's hard because I think it depends on who's around you.
Mm-mm.
So, like, if you already said goodbye to everybody on the outskirts of the where you're standing, then I feel like you only need to re-say goodbye to the person that caught you in the last conversation or whoever's right there, and then go. What do you say?
I don't think you owe anybody another goodbye, because
Oh, Louie.
here's the thing, because maybe not. I don't know who's going to be watching this, but at least for culturally, for us as a because we're
Well,
Italians and
in Spanish people,
in Spanish and Latin, like just Latin people in general, we have like 30 relatives that are coming over to the house.
Yes, and
right?
you have to say goodbye to. You have to say
have to say-
hello to everybody, and you have to say goodbye to everybody.
Individually. You can't just go, hi, everyone. No, you got to go
No,
up
you
to
got to
each
go
person.
hello and say hello and give them a hug and a kiss because you never know. Life's too short when the last time you're going to see somebody. So it's a good. I think that's a beautiful cultural tradition that we have. So we should say hello and we should always say goodbye.
Yeah, but not goodbye again.
I don't know. Yeah, because it could take an hour to do that.
That's say you spent at least 10 minutes. It is 10 minutes because you're having mini conversations in between the goodbyes already.
I know, but then if you
right?
get caught in one last conversation, so let's just say like, oh, I forgot to ask you, like, are you going to send me this, or are we going to do that? Okay, yeah, you get and then you're like, okay, it was, I'm going to go, see you later, and you say goodbye again to at least the people in your immediate area there.
But okay, so I guess the follow up to this scenario is how long does that conversation have to be before you go, I got to say goodbye again? Like how, so then how do you gauge that time?
I mean, whatever amount of time you need to finish the conversation. I don't feel like I don't think it needs to be a half-hour conversation. If you have your coat on and you got your bag already, like it should be a quick conversation.
But sometimes it isn't. Most of the time.
I mean, I've never been caught up for another hour.
I have tons of times
at our family.
Not family functions, but like I go to film festivals, award shows,
Okay, that's
like
different.
networking events. You're trying to say goodbye,
Oh,
and then
networking
it's
events. Like if I'm at work event and I said goodbye to everybody because I want to make sure I say goodbye to my friends as well, right? I have really nice coworkers and I love working with them, and I always greet and say goodbye to them. But once I'm done, I do the bye.
yeah. I don't say goodbye to every single person again. I'll say goodbye to the person I'm talking to. I'll
Yeah,
say goodbye to them
you're
specifically
right.
again.
To them, you have to say goodbye to them again.
Right, but like you making another round, I
There you
don't
go.
think you owe anyone a second round of
No, you just
goodbyes. I
put your
don't.
hand up and be like,
Yeah,
wave and
that's the
go.
most courteous I'll get. If I recognize people are looking, like he said he was going to leave, that judgmental
I don't think
kind of
anybody's
stare,
doing that.
people do that.
Okay.
People do that because they're
I
like,
haven't
he
seen
said he
that.
was going to go, and now he's talking to Chuck. What's going on? What's going on here? Right? Is Chuck more important? So then you have to give the courtesy. Okay, now I'm finally out. Goodbye, and then that's okay to do it. Do it overall. Goodbye. That's what I
I don't know.
think.
I wonder, like, I would love to hear from people that are just like, nope, I'm out.
I do too. I want to see. I want to see the. I want
I
to.
want to hear that. I want to hear that. Like, I want to know that scenario.
I want to see when that's acceptable to just leave.
Yeah, for some people it is, and it's okay.
Okay.
What's our other one?
The next one is people who do not put their shopping carts back. Right? Are these people lazy, or is it completely reasonable to leave your
Okay.
shopping cart like in between the spaces?
If you just had knee surgery and it's very difficult for you to put the cart back, I can see that happening. If you have a baby carrier and you like some new moms, they have to take the baby, they have to do the shopping, somebody, the dad's at work or whatever. And that's a lot to try to get a baby in the car seat. They're screaming. I can understand that. But for like your general people, you got to put the cart back. Like what kind of like society are we living in if you can't just take 2 seconds to put a cart back?
I think it depends on distance
Well, yeah, that
from the
it has to
gate,
be close to. That's true.
like the little gate where they keep all of the carts. I personally think that if you're like 5 spaces over, you can walk down. I'll give you that. If you're like about
Mhm.
5 or 4 spaces, yeah, it's over there, but like you can put it back. But if it's all the way in the next row or the second parking row, I'm
Yeah,
not
but
going. I'm
most
not going.
shopping areas have the cart thing very strategically placed and in each of the rows, right?
But I also think there's nothing wrong with just leaving it in between. Now,
But
if you leave it in the
what if it hits a car?
no, if someone leaves it in the parking space, that's not okay.
No,
But
that's
you
not
have to,
okay.
but if you are going to leave it, you put it in the intersection because it's the rows.
No,
You put it in
no,
the
it can't
intersection,
roll back and hit a car. No.
and you make sure it stays there, and then you can leave it because then there's someone that's going to come and get it.
No, I don't feel that that's true. That's good. I don't feel that that's good because if it does get loose somehow and it hits another car, it hits somebody's car. That's not
But
cool.
that's not my fault. That's the person pulling in and not looking's fault.
No,
If you're
that's
driving
not.
and you don't see a shopping cart in the space and you just ran into a shopping cart, I
I
think that's
don't
on
think
you.
that's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that you leave it like kind of parked right there on like between where the cars
Yeah,
park, and unless there's like one of those like cement barriers to hold it in place,
yeah,
right? That's a different story than I could see like some older elderly people or something leaving it there, and then maybe another elderly person will grab it from there, right? But yeah, I think I think there's certain scenarios that it's okay, and then other scenarios like I've seen people that are sitting right next to the cart thing. They park right next to the cart thing, and then they just put it like in front,
mm,
and that's not cool.
yeah.
I had somebody put it right in front of my car, and it almost hit the front of my car.
It almost did, or
The
you almost
the
hit it.
no, I was sitting in the parked car. I just happened to see that that's what the person did, and I opened the window and I yelled at her.
Oh my god. Well, if it's in between, and then the thing is right there, I agree. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like
if it's
that's
right there. Yeah,
ridiculous.
it was literally right next to her car. Like, why does she go and put it? Because she didn't want to walk on the other side of her car? Come on.
I think most of the time it's reasonable to leave your cart
I don't know. I don't know.
if it is placed strategically, like in the
I think this one's going to be a little controversial.
this is controversial.
This one might be a little controversial.
I can't wait to see people.
Because there's people that I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, you know what? I walked out and the whole side of my car was hit by a cart because somebody didn't just take the 2 minutes to put it back. And that's a pain in the butt when you have to call your insurance and you have to get for something that could have just easily just been avoided and with common courtesy.
Okay. All right, so
Don't
let's
park next to Lewis.
Okay, but no. Okay, this is the last one,
Okay.
and then we're gonna close out here because we're
All right.
approaching an hour.
We're approaching. Okay.
Um.
I have one more special one too. After that.
All right. All right. Okay. Final scenario is someone says we should get together soon. Like you bump into someone, blah 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 blah. Hey, it's an acquaintance, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should get together soon. Do you make plans right then and there, or do you wait for them to call you to make the plans? Like, do you take them up on the offer right when it's happening, or do you say yeah, 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 and you wait for them to call you back?
I think it depends on who the person is. Because if it's
Mm.
my best friend, we make plans right then and there. We pencil in a date. Our other good friends, Annette and Jesse, the same thing. We'll pencil in some time, and even if we have to move it after, but at least we pencil in some time, like with that intention of getting together. Other people, if they ask me, let's get together, I'm like, yeah. Call me when you're ready because I know they're not going to call.
I think but this is we're talking about like this is most common with acquaintances,
Yeah.
right? So I personally think you wait for them.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
you wait for them to let you know when they're going because I'm a person that if you make plans with me, I'm going to show up. That's the kind of person that I am, and I know Lewis is that way
Yeah.
too. And even if even if I'm not feeling it, I'll go.
You go, right? Because
I'll
you
get
committed.
ready and I'll go and I'll show up. But other people, like I know people that have told me, hey, oh yeah, let's get together. They'll make plans, and then I know within the 24-hour window something's going to happen.
Yeah.
They can't come, they're working late, they got sick, their kid is sick, right? So like I know the typical excuse each person has. And if you're one of these people, your friends know. They know that you're the one of those people too. Lewis is having a cough attack. But
Oh my God.
drink some water. But I'll keep talking. But yeah, if you are one of those people that like you flake out on your friends sometimes, you might just be aware. They know who you are. They know your excuses. So definitely think about that when you make plans with someone. I think that maybe the best thing to do is to maybe just say like, all right, I'll give you a call. Like I would respect that more. Like if you tell me, hey, I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks and we'll figure out another time to get together. I think that that's a lot better than kind of committing to getting together and kind of making it seem like you're actively going to do it. So yeah. That's another one that people definitely I think need to talk about when need to think about when they're making commitments to people. There's another scenario that I was thinking about. So if you have a cake, you bake a cake, and the whole family has been having cake and has been eating it, and there's one piece left. Like, who gets the last piece of cake? Like, what's the proper thing to do? Do you need to announce it before?
Oh my God.
Before you eat the last piece of cake?
Oh my Lord.
He's been very sick, and he's been so committed to doing this podcast that I told him let's do it one more week out, but he wanted to do it today. So
that was not good.
Well,
that was not a good look.
That was not a good look,
That was not
but
a good
it's
look, but I'm
okay.
keeping it in.
But you know what? You're a pro, so you did it.
I'm keeping that in. That's good views.
You can cut it up or something.
I'll cut it out. We're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, you got to cut that out. Okay,
Okay.
so let's talk about the cake and eating the last piece. When do you have to um announce the last piece that you're going to eat the last piece of cake? Do you have to announce it, or do you just eat the last piece of cake?
You have to announce cake. I think if it's like an appetizer.
Oh, no, I disagree.
Sorry. All right, now I'm good.
You don't look good.
I don't look good now. Anyway, I look like I'm bawling my eyes out over this.
You're all right.
I think cake, that's a celebratory thing. So
Sorry.
it's a celebratory thing. So I think you have to announce it.
Sorry.
You have to announce it. I'm suffering over here. You have to announce it.
Sorry. No, I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard.
Oh my god.
But what if you're at a restaurant and it's the last appetizer? Like they brought
Stop.
5 and there's 4 of you, so you each got your piece already. There's one left and it was delicious. Like, who gets that? Or do you have to announce it? Should you all talk about it?
You got to do the ask. There's the. Are you gonna take this? Because most likely they're gonna say no. Most likely, people like when someone offers and asks, everyone doesn't want to be the person who takes the last one. So
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "Oh, go ahead, just take it." No, you take it, even if they want it.
Yeah, I've done that. I've let your father take the last thing, or like the guys at the table, because you could tell they really enjoyed it, and like I leave it for them.
But what do you say about people who get resentful, or the person that's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." There is a bit of a
shouldn't
twinge.
get resentful.
There's a little twinge.
I don't think you should get resentful if you give it up. You fully giving it up. Like, don't hold it against somebody.
Some people do it for pleasantries. I think you're supposed to say no. No, you have it, because I know they want it.
I mean, if everybody's saying no, I'll be like, well, I don't want it to go to waste, and I'll eat it if I liked it or if I want it. But I mean, I don't think that if you want it, you should claim, like, yes, like, can I share it with somebody? Like, I'll take it if nobody wants it. Like, I don't think our best friends, we're not shy with when my husband and I go out with our best friends, Maria and Pasquale. If Pasquale and Lou want it, they're going to tell us, yeah, we'll take it if nobody's going to have it. I mean, they'll share, they're willing to share, but they're not shy and just say no for the heck of it.
Most people won't do that.
And if Maria and I want in, we'll split it 4 ways.
Yeah, but most people don't do that.
Well, because I have the best friends in the world.
There's a little, there is a with acquaintances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a difference. Like, if it's a work
if it's work,
dinner,
you let them have
I let the guys have it. If it's a work dinner, I mean, they're just like I said, I really like my coworkers, and I really like the people that I work with. So I let the guys have it because I know that they're hungry, and
So
I'll get something else.
So I'll let them have it, but I know it's because they want it. I know it's because they secretly want it. And if I say yes, then there's going to be this, like, because people get weird. Little things like that, it's going to be like,
I don't think so.
I wanted it and he took it.
Well, what about, like, cake in the house?
You don't have to announce that.
I think you should announce it to your
I don't
parents.
think so.
I think it should be the same kind of thing.
However many days. Here's the thing with that. If you have a slice of cake at home, no one touches it for like 3 days.
There's no cake.
You get rights to that
in this
food.
World that has lasted more than 3 days.
Not 3 days, but not 3 days, but
no cake in this world.
But if there's a cake and then it's like a day goes by and no one touches it, that's yours.
No,
because obviously they didn't want it.
I think it's a courtesy to be just like, hey, there's a last piece of cake. Can I have it, or do you guys want me to leave some of it for you?
Maybe not cake, but like there are some things in the house that will
Yeah.
be there, I think.
Like what?
And someone will not, like, someone will be like, oh, I
He's
bought this
talking
stuff,
about dad's Danish.
stuff there. And then they expect you to leave it there for like a month.
No, not a month.
Like, or I'm exaggerating, but
You are. You're exaggerating.
oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm going to keep that part in. I
Well,
don't know if I have the editing skills to cut it out, but just kidding.
you better have the editing
I'm
skills to
kidding.
cut it out.
Okay. So,
Do you want to talk about the what we were talking about when you got triggered with your coughing, or to put in your 2 cents, or are you good?
for what I forgot where we were
Nah, me too. All right. No big deal.
before I almost died on camera
Oh, the to get together soon part.
to get together. I don't think that I think people just say that out of pleasantry. I don't think people really mean it.
Yeah, I think some people do, unless they're very close to you.
You wait for them. I think even if they are your friends, because
Mhm.
it's like, well, you want to hang out with me, you got to reach out.
Yeah.
And that's that. I think that applies to everywhere. I don't think I don't believe you should be chasing people.
No, I've always taught you not to chase people.
I don't think you should be chasing people, and I've had bad experiences chasing people in the past, and it never works out. If you, people say things to be nice, like someone asks you how you're doing, you're not supposed to actually tell them how you're doing. Like
Oh my
that's like
gosh.
that's
No,
that's
people are not really asking you how you
people are
doing.
not
They don't
really,
want. They don't really want you like your medical, your
they don't
medical rundown.
they don't want to know what's going on.
No.
All right, so I guess to start closing this out, that was very eventful towards the end there.
Well, that's real stuff. Real, you're sick and you had a cough attack, and that's it happens. But the show must go on.
The show must go on. All right, so
But NyQuil, if you want to send him some
NyQuil sponsor.
NyQuil.
NyQuil sponsors. Okay, so I guess like we just kind of proved that despite some our disagreements,
Mhm.
we were able to just have
Differences of opinion.
some of them were flat out disagreements, but we just showed that two people can have like a real conversation, and it doesn't turn into just getting mad at each other
or holding it against each other.
holding it against each other. And you don't have to agree with someone to have a fun discussion. That's what this is about. We agreed with a lot of things, obviously, because that's you raised me, right? But again, we all have strong opinions. We all have opinions about like dumb things or little scenarios, unspoken rules, the things that we started talking about. So like, let's just like, I don't know, let's just have the ability to just enjoy discussions, whether you agree with them or not. Life is too.
Yeah, there's got to be some lighthearted conversations that we can have. Our whole thing is that you just turn on our podcast and that you listen to the little questions we come up with, form your own opinions, write us, and tell us what you think. We're hopefully in the future we'll start to do some lives, and we'll start to interacting a lot more. That's our plan, so that we can have these fun discussions, and have special nights, so because people need to meet other people and talk to other people. We're losing that art of conversation. Absolutely. And give you some ideas, because you have dinner parties. It's getting too expensive, people, to go out to dinner. You got to do some stuff at home.
Got to entertain the people.
Got to entertain your friends. And you got to have stuff to talk about, or else they're going to go home at 7:00. So, you got to have some lighthearted stuff. You don't have to have a fight about anything.
Yeah. So we'll have weekly episodes.
Yeah.
Putting these out.
Where can they find us?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Instagram, Twitter, all our socials, and our actual podcast, the Apple Podcast.
Okay.
And we're gonna figure out how to get it on.
We're gonna get TikTok
Spotify
too, right?
And on TikTok. Yes, you can find some clips on TikTok.
Yes.
Not the whole thing, but
I love TikTok.
She's never off of it.
I love TikTok. Yes.
All right, so
All right. Well, that's a wrap for our
Yeah,
first episode, our debut episode.
of who does that. And thanks
Who
for
does that?
that was bad. That was bad.
No, it doesn't. No, it's not. All
Just
right. Well,
remember, it's all about the art of simple talk.
it is. All
Thank you.
right. Till next week.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.